All right, Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Baha Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Baha Hashem, Rachak, Wadaj, double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders, a great millstone, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the tabernacles of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, wherever you may be, wherever you may be, Shalom, Yeshua, Shalom. All right, getting back to the book of Exodus, we should be in chapter 22. I believe we covered 21 last time. So, Exodus chapter 22, verse 1. It says protection of property. In the KJV down at the bottom, you see it says property rights. All right, where it says if a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep. 4 sheep, 4 sheep. All right, so if someone steals an ox or sheep, and we read the NLT because it can sometimes just make it more simple. So it says if someone steals an ox or sheep and then kills or sells it, the thief must pay back 5 oxen for each ox stolen and 4 sheep for each sheep stolen. If a thief is caught in the act of breaking into a house and is struck, and I'm not saying well this is the reason, but now today you have people that able to tag their different cattle, they'll brand them, with the branding iron, which it's not a good thing because you're pretty much burning them, scalding them, or whatever. All right, but sometimes they'll have the ear tags, which is better. All right, but you get the point. But anyway, it says if a thief is caught in the act of breaking into a house and is struck and killed in the process, the person who killed the thief is not guilty of murder, right? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it was you protecting your belongings and also just from personal injury, all right? Because who knows how far the thief would have went, all right? So you're protecting your household because he was caught in action, or he or she, whoever it may have been, caught in the act. So it says, but if it happens in daylight, the one who killed the thief is guilty of murder. All right. So it says a thief who is caught must pay in full for everything he stole. If he cannot pay, he must be sold as a slave to pay for his theft. But today you have Esau Edom, who has jails and prison systems. All right. And they just tax you, through the roof. All right. Pretty much make you pay for it. You slave for it because you're in prison. All right. It takes away from your everyday life too, because when you come out, it's harder for you to get a job and stuff. Well, that's more modern day, but I'm just basing this law on what is today in the modern day. All right, but in ancient times, this was the judgment set for someone who was caught in the daylight. All right. So it says if someone steals an ox or a donkey or a sheep and it is found in the thief's possession, then the thief must pay double the value of the stolen animals. Basically, someone caught in the act, right? So it says if an animal is grazing in a field or vineyard and the owner lets it stray into someone else's field to graze, then the animal's owner must pay compensation from the best of his own grain of grapes, right? Because your animal went into someone else's land and ate up its grass, right? Ate up a whole patch of grass in someone else's territory, right? It says if you are, and Esau actually utilizes this today, all right. He does it wickedly, but he utilizes that. Verse 6 says if you are burning thorn bushes and the fire gets out of control and spreads into another person's field, destroying the sheaves or the uncut grain or the whole crop, the one who started the fire must pay for the crop loss, which that can be very deep, all right? Because who knows how much damage is going to happen from this fire, all right? So you have to pay for the damages. Suppose someone leaves money or goods with a neighbor for safekeeping, and they are stolen from the neighbor's house. If the thief is caught, the compensation is double the value of what was stolen. All right, no different than paying back. All right, paying back double. It's no different from them stealing out of your house. Maybe you had to go somewhere, you had something very valuable. All right, and so you had to go on a travel. You couldn't take it with you, so you left it with a trusted neighbor, and maybe they randomly broke into the neighbor's house, or maybe they knew you left this thing with the neighbor, and they went into the neighbor's house, right, to attempt to take whatever it was, all right? And they were caught, so they have to pay back the double. Verse 8 says, but if the thief is not caught, the neighbor must appear before the Most High, who will determine if he stole the property. Now, if you read verse 8 in the KJV, it says, if the thief be not found, then the master of the house shall be brought unto the judges to see whether he had put his hand unto his neighbor's goods. All right, and it's always good to get that KJV because, we know the word God goes into Alahayim, which is plural for powers, all right, which also, goes into what rulers and judges, and the judges are these elders of Israel. And we talked about that last time, the things that were spoken of, or not exactly the things spoken of, but because Jethro, told Moses how to really break things up so he wouldn't overwhelm himself. And so we spoke about how some of these things that we're going through will be some of those cases that the elders of Israel would have been dealing with. All right, and the weightier matters were falling upon the shoulders of Moses. So it says, suppose there is a dispute between two people who both claim to own a particular ox, donkey, sheep, article of clothing, or any lost property. Both parties must come before the Most High. And, well, of course, it says, I'm pretty sure it probably says judges, yep. Both parties must come before, we'll just say powers, or, we'll say judges, right? Judges. And the person whom the judges declares guilty must pay double compensation to the other. Now, suppose someone leave, and this sounds like, no more different than regular court cases, right? So it says, now suppose someone leaves a donkey, ox, sheep, or any other animal with a neighbor for safekeeping, but it dies or is injured or gets away, and no one sees what happened. The neighbor must then take an oath in the presence of the Lord, all right, Yahweh. If Yahweh, the Lord Yahweh Basham Shah, confirms that the neighbor did not steal the property, the owner must accept the verdict and no payment will be required, right? And it actually does say Lord in all caps here, which is the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. So it says, but if the animal was indeed stolen, the guilty person must pay compensation to the owner. If it was torn to pieces by a wild animal, the remains of the carcass must be shown as evidence and no compensation will be required. If someone borrows an animal from a neighbor and it is injured or dies when the owner is absent, the person who borrowed it must pay full compensation, right? Someone borrows an animal from a neighbor and it is injured or dies when the owner is absent. The person who borrowed it must pay full compensation. You might be thinking, well, why would someone borrow an animal? Maybe they needed an ox or something, all right? Because maybe theirs died, or maybe one of the other cases, fell upon them. Whatever the case may be, they might have needed an ox, and so they went and borrowed the neighbor's ox. So, verse 15, I almost said 22, 15. But if the owner was present, no compensation is required, and no compensation is required if the animal was rented. For this loss is covered by the rental fee, all right? Then it goes on to say social responsibility. Down here it says sundry laws. We can get that right there real quick. Sundry laws are various laws, including those found in the Bible, such as those in Exodus, giving us more. Okay. Thought they would give more plain definition. Include moral, ceremonial, and civil laws. Sundry items means personal items incidental to care, such as meals for visitors, newspapers, phone calls. And that's pretty much where we at right now. Treatment of the rich or privileged in the court system. I guess we can go back and exactly give us the best definition there. So let's go. Social responsibility, all right, or sundry laws. Exodus 22 and 16. It says, if a man seduces a virgin, if a man seduces a virgin who is not engaged to anyone and has sex with her, he must pay the customary bride price and marry her, right? It says, but if her father refuses to let him marry her, the man must still pay him an amount equal to the bride price of a virgin, all right? because at the end of the day, it's up to the father, all right, to give that daughter away, all right. So whatever the case may be, he still has to pay that price. He goes on to say, you must not allow a sorceress to live, all right. Right here, Exodus 22 and 18, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live, okay. As a matter of fact, if we go into which, there is, I get the right word? I think I did. Look like I got the wrong one. Okay, I did. I got the right one. All right, kashak is the word for witch. To practice witchcraft or sorcery, use witchcraft, sorcery, or sorceress. All right, and a lot of women, are into that today. All right, magic stuff, spells, and all these things. So it says, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Anyone who has sexual relations with an animal must certainly be put to death. All right. And we know we usually go into Leviticus dealing with that 18 and Leviticus 20. Okay. But it covers both parties, male and female. All right. It says anyone who has sexual relations with an animal must certainly be put to death. And Esau, I mean, let's not even go there. All right. Because, the laws are not for Esau, they're for the Israelites. But I'll just mention it because I think you know what I was going there. All right, anyone who sacrifices to any god other than the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua must be destroyed. All right, you must not mistreat or oppress foreigners in any way. Remember, you yourselves were once foreigners in the land of Egypt. And we talked about this last time. All right, when it's dealing with this, all right, clearly we're dealing with other Israelites. Thou shalt neither vex a stranger nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. Yeah, we talked about that the last time. Because last thing you want to do is treat your brother or sister the same way that you were treated when you were a slave in Egypt, right? So, verse 21 says, you must not mistreat or oppress foreigners in any way. Remember, you yourselves were once foreigners in the land of Egypt. 22 says, you must not exploit a widow or an orphan. All right, in the KJV, it reads, ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. All right, and Esau, see, this goes to show you that Esau knows the law, because a lot of these things Esau utilizes against us. Our own law, all right, to be governed by, he uses it against us. All right, from this system that was fashioned and formed around us. It says, if you exploit them in any way and they cry out to me, then I will certainly hear their cry. My anger will blaze against you, and I will kill you with the sword. Then your wives will be widows and your children fatherless. If you lend money to any of my people who are in need, do not charge interest as a money lender would. Yeah, that's wicked. All right. It says, if thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as an usurer, neither shalt thou lay upon him usury. All right. Going into what? Dealing with that interest and things. Let's just see if we can get the word there by itself. It is nashak. All right. Nashak is the word there. Interest. You see, usury. All right. Because now you're making that burden heavier for your brother or sister, whoever it may have been. Right. Yeah, if you lend money to any of my people who are in need, do not, and it clearly says who are in need, because obviously they need it. All right. Somebody, just out of it. All right. They ask you for $50 and you come back, you're talking about, yeah, you owe me 100. Well, hold on, wait a minute. But I only borrowed 50 and the person was in need. Right. See, that's wickedness. Do not charge interest as a money lender would. But yet today, what do we have? Loan sharks, right? You go to the loan company and a lot of people end up falling in debt because of it. All right. That's why credit card companies don't like those that pay their credit card balances on time or early, because they make their money from people who are not paying their balances or people who are late, and it keeps them in debt. Right. Well, yeah, you have loan sharks, and the scriptures say that we would have to go to our enemies and warn of all things. That's why I keep mentioning Esau, because our laws, it goes to show you he knows the Bible, he knows the laws, but he's taking these things, a lot of these things out of our scriptures and use them against us to oppress us and keep us down, man. Which is all according to prophecy, but you get my point. So it says, if you take your neighbor's cloak as security for a loan, you must return it before sunset. All right. In the KJV says, if thou at all take thy neighbor's raiment to pledge, thou shalt deliver it unto him by that the sun goeth down. All right. Because that could be all they had. Once again, we're dealing with those that are, poor, or maybe a lesser status, however the case may be. They're more needy than you, in other words, all right? And so, you know, that's pretty much their covering there, all right? It's kind of like, for a modern day example, like it's cold right now. You got snow and ice all on the ground, and this is someone's coat, all right? So they need that coat, all right? Because it's going to be cold tonight. It's cold in the daytime, but it gets even colder at night because the sun is going down. So they need that coat back, all right, by the end of that night, because that's all their little bit of property right there, okay? Which is, for you even want to do that to a person anyways, it's just, it's wicked anyways in itself. But you get the point. Verse 27 says, this coat may be the only blanket your neighbor has. See, there you go. How can a person sleep without it? If you do not return it and your neighbor cries out to me for help, then I will hear, for I am merciful. You must not, for I am merciful. But the church is, sending people to hell, right? Other topic. I'm just randomly thinking about that, though, right? I am merciful. And there's many scriptures dealing with the Lord's mercy, right? We're having the Lord's mercy right now. This grace period, the fact that we know who we are. We know about his name. We know about the Lord and Savior, and so on and so forth. Know about all these different things that have been revealed unto us by way of the Spirit, right? That's just mercy alone. Verse 28, Exodus 22 and 28, you must not dishonor the Most High or curse any of your rulers, right? and it says here, all right, and this is what we've been mentioning in the KJV. It says, thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people, all right? And so we know, as always, the Lord always has an order, as we were just speaking about, the elders and things of that nature, all right? These would be, the men that are over you, all right? The men that guide you, govern you and things of that nature. And the Lord sets those things up for a reason, man, okay? It says you must not dishonor the Most High or curse any of your rulers. You must not hold anything back. And I believe it's, I can't remember where it is. I believe it was Paul that mentioned it, where he says, where it talks about, something about, speaking about, I can't remember exactly how it was worded. If I could think of exactly how it was worded, maybe I could pull it up. But mentioning how, no, actually, I think that was dealing with something else, because it mentions their earthly parents. I can't remember. I just can't remember exactly how it was worded. I could probably pull it up if I could remember exactly how it was worded. Let's keep going. It says, you must not hold anything back when you give me offerings from your crops and your wine. You must give me your firstborn sons, all right? It says, thou shalt not delay to offer the first of thy ripe fruits and of thy liquors. The firstborn of thy son shalt thou give unto me, okay? And now, excuse me, all right? Man, what was I about to say? Doggone it. Slack you. Man, I just forgot what I was about to say. Doggone it. Shoot. What was I about to say? Man, it says you must not hold back anything. Oh yeah, who was it, man? Shoot, yeah, about the first, like the 10% tithing and things of that nature, right? Similar to that, all right? Man, I can't remember exactly what I was about to say, though. Doggone it. Let's just keep going. It says, verse 30 says, you must also give, man, that's the end of the chapter. You must also give me the firstborn of your cattle, sheep, and goats, but leave the newborn animal with its mother for 7 days. Then give it to me on the 8th day. All right, going into tithing. As a matter of fact, is that in Malachi 3? Is that 3? No, I want to say it's 4. Okay, it is 3. Yep. Will a man rob God? I think we read this the other day. Will a man rob God? Yet ye have robbed me. But ye say, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and offerings. Ye are cursed with the curse, for ye have robbed me, even this whole nation. All right. And when you think about it, when Israel started to go off, they were still doing sacrifices and things. But what were they doing sacrifices to? All right. Idols. All right. Okay. So they're robbing the Lord with that, because they would, pass their children through the fire, or sacrifice, something to Molech, or whatever the case may be. So they were doing sacrifices, but not to the Most High power, all right? They were doing those things in vain, and in the Lord's face. All right, not to Him. Which that's another topic, but I think you get the point that I'm making with that. And I guess we'll read a couple more since because we mentioned that the other day too. Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in mine house. All right, which grains and all right, even coinage, right? Because we had ancient coinage back then, silver and things of that nature. Because storehouse isn't always just meat alone. Because we had the temple that stored up what treasures, man. I just missed the word. All right, Watazar. Treasure, storehouse, you see? Treasure, gold, silver, there you go, you see? Store, supplies for food and drink, yeah, sustenance, you see? So both of those things, which a storehouse is mainly dealing with food, but a storehouse could also be what? A storehouse of place of treasures, like, as I just mentioned, for example, the temple. The temple would have a lot of treasures. Why do you think when the heathens sacked the temple, they would take their treasures? Because they were goodly, pleasant things, for one. And then the main purpose why they attacked the temple is because they knew that was our connection with our power. So we're going to get two birds with one stone. We're going to disrupt their connection with their God, and we're going to take all these goodly treasures here. What are they doing with them? They just got them stored up. Let's go take all this gold and stuff like that. And I had a little lesson I was getting together. Not like it's haven't been going in before. I might go in and work on it a little bit. But dealing with the Arch of Titus, I was just looking into some things. Okay, so let's just keep going for now. Yep, it says, let's finish this verse though, since we read it. It says that bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in mine house, and prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. Yeah, rain on our land and our crops, all right, for our cattle and our crops, all right, and get that increase. So let's go back. All right, so verse 30, it says, likewise shalt thou do with thine oxen and with thy sheep. 7 days it shall be with his dam, and on the 8th day thou shalt give it to me. And ye shall be holy men unto me, neither shall ye eat any flesh that is torn of beasts in the field. Ye shall cast it to the dogs. All right, going back to the NLT, you must also give me the firstborn of your cattle, sheep, and goats, but leave the newborn animal with his mother for 7 days, then give it to me on the 8th day. You must be my holy people. Therefore, do not eat any animal that has been torn up and killed by wild animals. Throw it to the dogs. There you go. That's the one I was looking for yesterday. All right, it was in the next chapter. But we did bring out a good point, because it says that directly about the priest. All right, but here it is in the next chapter, as I mentioned, and we were right about it. All right, it says, you must be my holy people. Therefore, do not eat any animal that has been torn up and killed by wild animals. Throw it to the dogs. There you go. See? So, and that's the end of that chapter. We got through it very swiftly. It's a short chapter, though. So, Lord willing, you will edify to next time. Yahshua, I'm going to say shalom.